Hello, this is my first time trying to do a podfic, so please be patient with me as I learn. This fanfic I'm reading right now is The Things That Keep You From Falling Apart, written by apileofashandember on AO3. For relationships, we have Miraculous Duping Chang / Damian Wayne, Bat family members, and Miraculous Duping Chang, Ladybug, Miraculous Duping Chang, Ladybug, and Tiki, minor or background relationships, Dick Grayson and Coriander, Roy Harper / Jason Todd, Bernard Drought / Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown / Cassandra Kane. It is part 1 of a series. It is currently, as of March 3rd, 2023, unfinished, with 56 out of 60 chapters. The summary is Ra's al Ghul should have been more careful when using the miraculous to create the Lazarus pits, or a daminette arranged marriage / pen pal. Notes. Disclaimer, I do not own anything from the Miraculous Ladybug or DCU. Author's notes. So this originally started off as a pen pal, but then my brain at 3 a.m. plagued me with turning this into an arranged marriage childhood friends AU. So I had to turn all 5 chapters I had already written into a fic, and write like an additional 5 in the very beginning. I'm still making major edits as well as continuing to write even more, but my original outlines works for this new idea, so I have a solid plan as long as I don't lose steam. I used a combination of tropes I've read from this crossover and ship and put my own spin on it. This fic is very much my baby, and I really want the comments and constructive criticism. All mistakes are my own. Ember. Chapter 1. Play with Fate and she'll play back. Sabrine grew up hearing the stories of Guardian's Temple, of how their family had once been renowned for its protection. The older she grew up, she dismissed the stories as fiction, but even then, it was hard to ignore the feeling deep in her soul that told her it was all the truth. There was one particular part of the story that brought her chills. It went like this. There's an organization called the League of Assassins, ruled by a man called Ra's al Ghul, the Demon's Head. He was a violent, power-hungry man, and the miraculous were power. A lot of it. The temple had been attacked by the man over 5 centuries ago. In exchange to leave the Guardians alive, and the temple standing, the Grand Guardians made a deal. The Demon's Head had been granted 3 wishes, 3 universe-altering wishes, that be granted with the use of the miraculous of creation and destruction, the ladybug and black cat. The first wish had led to the existence of the Lazarus pits, pools that were known to have extreme regenerative properties and even led to immortality. But as balance needed to be maintained, the wish came with a cost. Those who bathed in the pits lost their sanity, sometimes permanently. That had not mattered to Ra's. The second wish had been a surprise. He heard of the power the true holders had of the miraculous were entailed, and extreme control over the concept they were meant to embody. And so he wished that only his blood adherents could be the true holder of the black cat. And Balance and Fate decided that yes, only an al Ghul would be a true holder of destruction, and they decided to rectify this. Only a descendant of the Chang family would be a true holder of creation. This left the third wish, a cruel way to solidify the temple would be continued to be safe until Ra's needed them again, a double-edged sword hanging above the Guardian's head. 4 centuries had passed. The Chang bloodline had stretched further and further. The temple had been attacked again. Ra's al Ghul had come for his final wish. A member of the Chang family had no longer been the Grand Guardian. Amongst the new ranks had been a man called Master Fu. Not that the Changs were aware of that. So Sabrina had taken it all with a grain of salt. She belatedly came to the realization that she shouldn't have, as she stood face to face with the daughter of the demon's head. The other woman had a cruel smirk gracing her features. Behind Sabrina stood Tom, clutching a knife that he had been cooking with. Neither of them had heard anyone enter the home, a truly haunting thought. Sabrina may have been dismissive of her family's legacy, but she had nonetheless shared it with the man she loves. In the playpen, a few feet away, was Marinette, looking at her new companion with wide blue eyes. The man looked a bit like his mother, with bronze skin and bright green eyes, but the similarities ended there. "Hello, Zabing. It is lovely to meet what is left of your prestigious bloodline," the woman said in perfect French, a mocking lilt to her words. Sabrina had opened her mouth to speak, but was quickly denied the chance as Talia took charge of the conversation, walking towards the couch. "You have such a lovely home, and Marinette seems so sweet. She will be a delightful match for the demons here." "That is a myth," Sabrina said, feeling foolish as she uttered the phrase, and knowing now more than ever that wasn't true. The smirk Talia wore somehow got crueler. "Oh, but it is not, and deep down you know that. My father has the year he wants, and Marinette is merely a few months younger than Damien. Even time cannot break a deal that was made with miraculous magic. When your daughter is of age, our children will get married. If you do not approve, well, you do not need to be alive for it to happen." Sabrina hadn't realized she herself had moved to sit on the couch opposite of Talia, and startled when Tom had placed a tea tray on the table. Her husband sat down next to her, his face more grim than she had ever seen. She looked him in the eye, and they both knew one thing. There was no way out of this, and they would be damned if they would be taken away from their little girl, even over something so severe. Sabrina took a deep, shuddering breath before she spoke. How would you like to go about their betrothal? Talia's face softened just a tad as she looked at the playpen. It would be detrimental to Damien's training to spend more time than necessary away from his tutors, and I am sure you would wish to raise your daughter yourself. Sabrina and Tom nodded sharply. Very well. Marinette has expectations of the future wife of the League here, one of which is learning multiple languages. English is required from her. French will be obviously taken care of by her education in Paris. She will also need to learn Spanish and Arabic. The League will be unable to provide tutors, but we will take care of the cost. She will also be expected to learn a few fighting styles, but those will be up to her. The League will once again cover any costs once you decide on tutors. When Marinette has turned 5 years old, we will begin her contact with Damien. My father has decided the easiest way to do this will be letters. I will deliver the first one and expect her to have a reply by the following night." "Very well," Sabrina sighed. Talia gave the couple a small sigh and went to retrieve Damien from the pen. Both infants gave a small whine. Before the Dupin Changs knew it, Talia had disappeared from her house. Sabrina poured herself a cup of tea and let out a deep sigh before chugging it. This was merely the beginning